Everyone remembers painful experiences, like that time your paper blew off the table in class and gave you the world's worst paper cut on your scrotum. Or even worse, when you had to go to the hospital to have the surgeons operate on the sole of your foot to remove that one-by-one Lego brick. If you thought they were bad experiences, then buckle up to hear painful experiences that are even worse than that torture. Here are the most painful things people ever experienced. Number 10. Childbirth. The wonderful miracle of life. Most women go through it. 9 months of gestation, then out of it comes a baby. That's the part most people focus on. However, childbirth itself is described by some as the most painful thing they have ever gone through. It's not that hard to picture why. Just think about it. A baby, even the smallest one, is still pretty big. Now imagine it coming out of you. Some women described it feeling like they were having their organs ripped out. But that's not all the pain a woman goes through. Before the actual birth itself, they have uterine contractions. Those are very painful as well. Some women paint a very painful picture of it. They say it's like your body being punched, twisted, and wrung out from the inside. Others said it's like someone was stepping on their insides. Plus, some women can spend a lot of time going into labor before they actually deliver the baby. The longest labor ever recorded was for 75 days. All in all, it's a wonder why women keep putting themselves through it. Number 9. Tetanus. Tetanus is a very well-known bacterial disease. It's an infection that affects your nervous system. It's famous for causing muscle spasms. It is also known as lockjaw because the spasms tend to begin in the jaw. Even worse, the jaw lock can also make breathing harder. Overall, it's a very tough disease. The spasms can last up to a few minutes. They usually occur for a period of 4 weeks and frequently. Some people who had tetanus described it as a living hell. The spasms can be so violent that it's not rare for them to cause bone fractures. Tetanus is commonly caused by a puncture. Things like rusty nails or rusty fences can easily carry the tetanus bacteria, which is very dangerous. People of all ages are susceptible to tetanus, and there isn't a known cure for the disease. Thankfully, a vaccine was invented that can help prevent tetanus. So make sure you're vaccinated and get your boosters when you need them. Number 8. Cluster headaches. Everyone's had a headache. Some people also have migraines, which are tough. A few unlucky people have cluster headaches. They feel so much pain they can't even think straight. This is a neurological disorder. Cluster headaches are much worse than even the worst headaches, and they usually occur around the eye. The headaches are excruciating and recurrent. Some describe it as similar to feeling a hot rod going into your eye. Others say it feels like their temple and eye are being cut open while they're being electrocuted and burnt. The symptoms can last for minutes to even 3 hours. The worst, though, is that these headaches come in clusters, so they tend to go away for a period of time and come back just as viciously in painful batches. Some clusters can even last up to a year. No one knows the true cause of this kind of headache. The condition is more common in men than women. They can occur at any age, but usually they start around the age of 20. These headaches are also known as suicide headaches. That's because the pain can be so much that it triggers people to consider unthinkable thoughts. Number 7. Trigeminal neuralgia. Trigeminal neuralgia is a condition that affects the trigeminal nerve. Don't know it? Neither did I. But apparently this nerve has a very crucial job, which is to carry sensations from your face to your brain. So, if you have trigeminal neuralgia, any stimulation of your face can cause excruciating pain. Things like brushing your teeth, putting on makeup, or even smiling results in a pain 1,000,000 times worse than something like biting your tongue. Some even described it as having a monster on their face. Others say that anytime something touches your face, you feel like you got shocked or even shot. This condition happens when the nerve is disrupted, usually caused by a blood vessel. This pain disorder happens more commonly to women than men. It also usually occurs in people older than 50. There isn't a cure for the disorder yet, unfortunately, but doctors can usually try to control and manage it through medication and sometimes surgery. Number 6. Stonefish. The stonefish is a sneaky little critter. They're experts at camouflage, hiding amongst stones and other things alike, which is a bad thing for humans. That's because they're the most venomous fish in the world. All stonefish have very sharp, needle-like spines. If you ever step on one, it's bad news for you. That's because they'll inject you with a very strong poison. This poison causes severe pain on your feet and legs. It will even cause you to swell up a lot. That's not all. It can also cause headaches, rashes, heavy cramps, and even death. One unlucky person who got stung painted a horrible picture about his experience. He described the pain as holding an oxy welding torch on your foot. Then, it works its way up your whole leg for an hour. After that, it feels like smashing your leg with a sledgehammer every 10 seconds. Ouch! After hearing that, stepping on a Lego isn't so bad. Thankfully, the antivenom is widely available. But if you ever feel a sting on your foot when you dive, you need to rush straight away to the hospital. That will save you a torturous experience. Number 5. Second-degree burn. You might be thinking, well, what about third-degree burns? Many people don't know it, but the degree of pain isn't related to the degree of the burn. Second-degree burns are actually the most painful type. That's because a third-degree burn goes through all your tissue and destroys your nerve endings. So in that way, the burnt area feels numb, which is not the case with second-degree burns. With second-degree burns, there's pain, redness, swelling, and blistering. They affect the epidermis and the dermis, but not the nerves. The result is a very painful experience indeed. Ever burned yourself while cooking? Now imagine sustaining a way more serious and prolonged burn. Some people who suffered through it have said that the aftermath is equally as painful, for example during treatment while tending the burnt area. With this type of burn, it usually takes 2 or 3 weeks for the area to heal. Thankfully, there is medicine that helps with infections. The pain, and it'll help heal the burn. Sometimes, surgery is necessary to remove the damaged tissue and replace it. Number 4. Durham's disease. Durham's disease is an extremely rare disease. It causes big fatty tumors to grow beneath a person's skin. They tend to grow around the extremities of the body and on the torso. Multiple lumps appear on the person. Worse yet, these lumps can cause a whole deal of pain. They do that because they press on nearby nerves, activating pain receptors. Some people with extreme cases describe it as feeling like all the fat in your body is hurting. Sometimes, people with Durham's disease feel pain even if they sit completely still, doing nothing. Durham's disease was first found by Francis Xavier Durham in 1892. But even though it's been known for so long, many aspects of the condition remain a mystery. For example, no one knows what's the cause of Durham's disease. Some believe it's hereditary, coming from a mutated fat gene. Others believe it's an autoimmune disorder. The truth, however, is still unknown. Durham's disease has a bigger chance of happening to women, especially middle-aged or have gone through menopause. It often shows up between the age of 45 to 60 years. Number 3. Bullet ant sting. The bullet ant is a species of ant known for its very powerful sting. The ant is native to rainforests in Central and South America. This ant can grow up to 1.2 inches long and are sort of similar to wasps, minus the wings. Just the sight of one of them can be pretty intimidating. The bullet ant's sting is ranked as the most painful sting according to the Schmidt Sting Pain Index, which is a scale that compares the sting of a bunch of different species like wasps, bees, and ants. I know, right? Who on earth put their name forward to test that? And just in case you're wondering, yes, the bullet ant gets its name because the pain is similar to getting shot. Just imagine having one of these bite your eye, and you've probably just imagined the worst pain possible. Some describe it as a throbbing ache, with waves of burning sensations, and all-consuming pain that can last for over a whole day. Sounds horrible, right? Well, it's part of an initiation rite for a Brazilian tribe called the Trigeminal. The rite is meant to turn boys into warriors. In it, the Indians grab hundreds of ants and weave them into gloves made of leaves. The boys then have to put their hands on the glove for 5 full minutes. When the rite is over, the boy's hands and arms are paralyzed and will be that way for days. Not only that, the boy may shake uncontrollably for days. Sounds like the warriors of that tribe are pretty stupid. I mean, tough. Number 2. The tub. The tub was one of the cruelest forms of torture ever created. It's also known as scaphism, and it was invented by the Persians. This is how it worked. The victim would be put into 2 wooden tubs or canoes with their head and legs sticking out. Then, Their head and legs would be doused in honey in order to attract bees and other things. Said critters would repeatedly attack the victim as they do. Guess that's where they got the inspiration for that famous Nicolas Cage scene in The Wicker Man. But it doesn't stop there. The torturers actually kept feeding the victim milk and honey in order to keep them alive. That also led them to have horrible bowel movements. They would eventually fill the container with their excrement, allowing insects and maggots to breed and proliferate, feeding on their flesh. This would happen until the person became deceased. It could be from the stings, the septic shock, or the gangrene. No good options there. Coming up, it's something so painful that it became a popular expression. But before that, don't forget to subscribe to be amazed. Every day we upload amazing videos filled with facts. Don't miss out on learning new things and curious information about the world. Also, click that bell icon for notifications on more amazing videos. Number 1. Ling Qi. Have you ever heard the phrase death by 1,000 cuts? That's literally what Ling Qi is. Ling Qi is a form of torture and eventually execution devised by the Chinese. The actual translation is something akin to lingering death or slow slicing. In it, the prisoners would be tied to a wooden frame and displayed in public. The torturer would then use a knife to remove small pieces of flesh over an extended period of time. The torturers would make sure no deadly cuts would be made, so the death would be as prolonged as possible. The Chinese believed this punishment worked on 3 different levels. First, it was a slow and painful death. Second, it worked as a form of public humiliation. And lastly, it worked as a punishment after death. That's because the Chinese believed that by cutting the body of their victims, their soul wouldn't be complete in the afterlife. The Chinese started the practice around the year 900, and it was only banished in 1905. What looked like the most painful thing for you? Do you think there's something even more painful that was left out of this list? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.